The first day of senior year at Redwood High dawned bright and cool. Students buzzed through the school gates wearing their newest sneakers, designer jackets, and sparkling accessories. It was the day everyone showed up to show off. Social cliques reunited, the cheer squad practiced their synchronized walk, and football players leaned against their trucks, flexing confidence. And then she walked in, wearing faded military camo pants, a black t-shirt tucked in with a belt, combat boots scuffed at the toes, and a face that gave nothing away. Her name was Claire Matthews. She did not smile. She did not wave. She walked alone with the same calm stride one might see in a soldier crossing into hostile territory. Her hair was neatly braided into a single tail, her backpack small and efficient, no logos, no colors, no flair. People turned to stare. "Is it Halloween already?" Someone snorted. "Hey, Army Barbie, you lose your tank," laughed another. Claire heard it. She always heard it, but her expression never changed. Her family had just moved to this town from Fort Bragg. Her father, a decorated veteran, had recently been deployed again. And her mother, a nurse, worked double shifts at the VA hospital nearby. Claire had grown up between bases, tents, barracks, and command posts. Fashion trends were as foreign to her as the TikTok dances her classmates performed in the hallways. In her first class, she sat in the back. Claire Matthews. The teacher called attendance. "Yes, sir," she replied crisply. Back straight. A few students snickered at the formality. At lunch, she sat alone. By the end of the week, she had earned 3 nicknames: G.I. Jane, Sergeant Silence, and Rambo Girl. Claire never corrected them. She focused on her books. Her grades were perfect. She read military strategy in her free time. She helped the janitor fix the broken vending machine on day 3 and reorganized the librarian's supply room with near military precision. Still, her classmates mocked her behind her back. The turning point began when Mr. Reynolds, the school counselor, decided to hold a career readiness day 2 months into the semester. Students were invited to showcase a talent, passion, or future career aspiration. The presentations would take place on the football field and would be open to students, faculty, and even parents. "Claire, are you interested in signing up?" he asked gently, after seeing her mostly silent school record. "I suppose I could," she said, "if I may request specific equipment." "What kind?" Claire slid a piece of paper across the table with neat handwriting. Mr. Reynolds blinked. "You want a 2-way radio system, a drone with camera capability, terrain boards, and access to the football field's PA system." Claire simply nodded. "If that is approved, I can proceed," he agreed. Assuming she might have some kind of quirky army-style project, he underestimated her entirely. Word spread quickly that Rambo Girl was preparing something big. Her classmates rolled their eyes. "Probably gonna teach us how to crawl through mud or eat MREs," they joked. One football player muttered, "Watch her roll out in camo and start giving us orders like we are in boot camp." The day arrived. Students clustered around booths, trying out VR headsets, learning about marketing, law, and robotics. Then came the final act. Claire as a group gathered in the bleachers. Claire had not told anyone what she was going to do. The field was quiet. Then the loudspeaker cracked to life. "This is Claire Matthews. What you are about to see is not a performance. It is a scenario, one that could save your life." The crowd went silent. The tone in her voice was not playful. It was commanding. Suddenly, speakers around the field began blaring simulated radio chatter. Claire walked onto the field dressed in full camo gear, this time with a mock earpiece and a tactical vest. On the Jumbotron, a drone feed displayed a layout of a school campus with red markers representing threats. "This is a simulation of an active threat response," Claire explained. "The school staff has no formal tactical training. Neither do most students, but I have spent years learning how to lead civilians through hostile scenarios." She moved like a trained officer, using her tablet to command simulated units. "The key is communication, coordination, and calm under fire. You learn that when your father is deployed every year and your mother volunteers in trauma zones. You learn that when you grow up not knowing if your dad will return." Her voice broke just slightly. She regained control instantly. "I will now demonstrate a rescue protocol." And then the crowd gasped. From beyond the trees at the edge of the school grounds, the sound of spinning rotor blades echoed. At first, people thought it was sound effects. Then the wind picked up. The real Black Hawk helicopter descended. Students screamed, not from fear, but the football coach almost fell off the bleachers. The chopper touched down gently on the field. 2 uniformed service members stepped out, nodding to Claire. "This is Captain Alvarez and Sergeant Darnell," she said over the mic. "I called in a favor." People stared, mouths agape. "How?" someone whispered. "I grew up on base," Claire said simply. "This is family." She stepped forward and addressed the entire field. "I am not here to be popular. I am not here to be liked. I am here because this country taught me that when no one believes in you, you rise anyway." She paused, her eyes scanning the stunned crowd. "They laughed when I wore camo to school. But today, those who serve stand behind me. Today, I remind you all strength does not need to shout. Sometimes it just walks alone, until it lands with a Black Hawk." The entire field burst into applause. teachers stood. Students who had mocked her now stared with deep respect. The helicopter lifted off again, leaving a whirlwind in its wake. Afterward, the principal approached her. "I believe your future will be quite extraordinary, Claire." She simply nodded. From that day forward, everything changed. Claire was no longer Rambo girl. She was Claire, the young woman who coordinated a military demonstration with the precision of a junior officer, who could outthink anyone in a crisis, and who reminded an entire school what real leadership looked like. She began mentoring the ROTC club. She helped organize emergency drills. She even gave a TEDx-style talk at the town hall. The same students who once laughed now asked for help with resumes, college applications, and public speaking. One morning, Mr. Reynolds pulled her aside. "You have received a letter. It was from West Point." Claire held the envelope in both hands and opened it slowly. Her eyes scanned the first line. "Congratulations." She stood there, unmoving for a moment. Then she smiled, the first real, full smile anyone had seen on her face. That evening she returned home and handed the letter to her mother. Her mom's hands trembled. "Your father will be so proud when he calls next." Claire looked out the window. "Tell him," she whispered, "I will earn those stars." Moral: never underestimate the quiet ones. Because sometimes, the ones who walk alone wearing camo, facing ridicule, unbothered by noise are the ones who will one day lead with discipline, heart, and honor. Claire did not wear camo to impress anyone. She wore it because it was in her blood, in her bones. And in the end, she did not just silence a football field. She inspired an entire generation.